So, this is the second installment for our personal finance episode. And in this part, we will talk about how to make or add avenues of income and how to grow your money. So, let's start. According to the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines or TUCP, the daily take home of a person working on a 456 peso minimum wage after factoring out inflation of basic commodities and after mandatory deductions is only 306 pesos. And what more for those working for provincial rates like in Davao, where the daily take home is only 191.75 pesos. So imagine that 306 pesos na lang take home mo per day. Then i-minus mo pa yung expenses mo for that day. For example, 150 yung lunch mo and merienda mo sa office plus yung breakfast mo. That's only 156 na lang may uuwi mo sa bahay. Then kung naungupahan pa kayo sa Manila, minus mo pa yung expenses ng upa on that and then minus mo pa yung travel cost mo. Ano na lang yung magiging savings mo doon, 'di ba? But dapat talaga yung minimum wage natin dito sa Philippines and hindi lang dito sa Metro Manila but throughout the Philippines should be the minimum living wage, not only the minimum wage. According to Mark Cuban, kung hindi nyo siya kilala, siya yung owners ng Dallas Maverick, dapat daw yung daily salary ng isang tao is the minimum living wage. Hindi lang dapat factoring out yung inflation, hindi lang dapat factoring out yung mandatory deductions ng government. Dapat tinitake into consideration din dito yung travel time or travel cost, yung rent cost, and then yung food for that day. So, sabi niya sa lahat daw ng companies niya, make sure niya na walang employee is below the minimum living wage. So take note of that, minimum living wage, hindi minimum wage lang, because the minimum wage will be considered below pa dahil sobrang dami po pang expenses. So yun. In this episode, we're gonna talk about first how to make your money. Ayun nga, katulad ng sabi pala ng TUCP, ang take home lang ng taga Metro Manila na minimum wage is 306 and sa Davao pa nga is 191 pesos 75 centavos lang. Paano tayo makakaipon? How can we save kung ganun lang din kaliit yung kinikita natin per day? You have to add avenues of income that can either be passive or active sources of income para sa'yo. Based on the US Census Bureau, 8.8% of women and 8% of men have second jobs. And 6.9% of this population, dun sa 8.8%, 6.9% of those tend to have more than 2 jobs. Tinitignan nila sa ganitong perspective. Dahil magaling yung workforce nila in time management and madaming trabaho, especially for seasonal jobs like jobs sa Pasko, jobs sa Halloween, jobs pagka summer or pagka fall, dumadami yung supply ng trabaho. People tend to have more than one job. But in the Philippines, based from the article published by Philstar, according to the labor organization, almost 9 million Filipinos have been forced to take extra jobs. Take note of the word forced to take extra jobs. And 7.934 million are underemployed. Underemployed meaning that if I'm an engineer, I'm working as a barista, I'm working as a mechanic, I'm working as something else na hindi ko craft. Yun yung meaning nila ng being underemployed. So sometimes, tama na mag-require naman tayo ng higher minimum wage sa government, especially those provincial areas where grabe naman yung 191 pesos na iuuwi mo everyday, di ba? But sometimes, it's the mindset. Babalik tayo dun sa number 1 step natin. It's the mindset. So, if you are working sa single job mo and hindi siya enough to pay for rent, to pay for your expenses, then you should have a mindset na I need to work more. I need to find extra jobs or I need to find more avenues to generate income. And hindi naman lahat ng income generating opportunities or generating avenues kakain ng malaking oras. For example, merong website that is called Upwork, kung saan pwede kang magkaroon ng typing jobs, design jobs na part-time, and then you can be paid by the hour. Dito ko na rin i-share yung personal experience ko by playing Axie Infinity. So, Axie Infinity is an emerging game trend where you can play to earn. So, for those of you that do not know, Axie Infinity is basically like Pokemon where you have these creatures na bibilin mo. They are NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. In simple terms, they're like your collectible Jordans, your Funko Pops, your artist paintings, and your cars, your land. Meron silang price as long as meron demand, syempre. So, you play those Axies to earn SLPs. And yung SLPs, pwedeng i-convert into peso. If you're interested, I could explain further sa inyo yung concept ng Axie Infinity and NFT gaming, but in another episode. So, just comment down below if you are interested in NFT gaming and play to earn na mga games. And lastly, meron na tayong saving, meron tayong tamang mindset. What is my goal? Meron tayong tamang mindset na I should not be devoured by worldly things and I should save or I should prepare myself financially. Meron tayong goal na nakakabit dun sa mindset na yon. We are saving. So, meron tayong sinasave. Meron na tayong monthly savings. Meron na tayong a month worth of salary na savings. And then, if kulang yung savings mo, meron tayong other avenues of income like passive income, passive work. Next is how can we grow our money? So yung mga savings natin, pinapalago pa natin siya. Yung in-earn natin, mas pinapalago pa natin. Some of us nag-grow lang ng money nila to battle the inflation. Some of us may mga life goals like I want a new house, I want a new car. Kaya pinapa-grow yung money nila. So, growing your money is the last part of the personal finance. And usually, it's the bloodiest. Kaya hindi na ako magta-take ng time to go deep kasi I leave those to the experts, sa mga financial advisors. And if interested kayo na makipag-usap sa mga financial advisors pero wala kayong kakilala or wala kayong connections, just comment down below and I will make sure na may kumausap sa inyo about starting your financial planning. So first, how to grow your money or how to find ways to grow your money. Di ba meron tayong savings? A part of that savings or all of that savings can be put into high interest savings account. May mga bangko like CIMB and ING na nagpo-provide ng 4% per annum na interest rates. So basically, kung 3% per annum yung inflation mo and then yung interest rate nila per annum dun sa savings mo sa kanila is 4%, nababattle mo yung inflation. So, hindi yung value ng pera mo sa bangko kahit nakasave siya, protected siya. Kasi mas mababa yung inflation rate kaysa dun sa interest rate ng bangko. Next is, invest your money or invest part of your savings sa money market, money lending, UITFs. Basically, ito yung mga pautang ng bangko. Yung UITF naman are investments ng bangko. So next is investment in stock market and crypto market. So these investments can be in PESEI or in Forex, and then yung crypto market through Binance. Ang difference niya in banks is sa bangko, lalagay ka ng certain amount, then yung bangko yung bahalang mag-manage. Kung magbabay sila ng stock sa market and magsisell sila ng stock sa market, sila yung bahala. Basically, sa stock market, kung ikaw yung mismong gagalaw, kung ikaw yung mismong mag-work, you have to research, you have to learn the ins and outs of the crypto market, the stock market, para nang sa ganon, you know when to buy stocks and you know when to sell them nang kikita ka. And other companies sell their stocks to their employees like SMCs, MVP group of companies. Nagbebenta sila a portion of the stocks dun sa mga empleyado nila. And last but not the least is parang the oldest way to grow your money is by building a business or being an entrepreneur. Pwedeng you could start selling shirts online, selling shoes online. Pwede naman yung hobby mo na pagluluto, pwede mong gawing business model mo or business plan mo. So yun, that's personal finance, how to have the right mindset, setting the goals, saving, and making additional avenues of income, and then growing your money. So if you reach this part of the episode, thank you, and I'll leave you with a story. It's called The Parable of the Three Servants. For those of you who want to read it, it's in Matthew 25:14-30. It tells a story of a master who was leaving his house to travel, and he entrusted his property to his three servants. So he gave the first servant 5 talents, the second servant with 2 talents, and the last with 1 talent. So a talent is basically a day's wage and is roughly about 75 pounds of silver. So the first servant invested all 5 talents and earned 5 more. Then the second servant worked for those 2 talents and earned 2 more. But the last servant dug a hole on the ground and buried the 1 talent that he was entrusted with. When the master came back, he asked the servants how they have used the entrusted talents to them. The first and second servant, whom had gained 100% of what was entrusted to them, the master was full of praise and said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler of many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." But the last servant, whom had dug a hole in the ground, returned the 1 talent and said, "Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid, and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours." And the master said to him, "You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him, and give it to him who has 10 talents." This is the story of the 3 servants. And meron pang next passage kung saan kino-conclude na yung story. But for the heart of our brew today, God has entrusted each and every one of us with unique resources that we can utilize. And it's quite amusing that the passage used the term talent, as if it knows that the word will be used differently in today's context. So meaning that God can provide not only your finances, your needs, He can even provide the talent that you have, which you can use. And speaking about God, He's not bounded by those finances, by those talents. Basically, He can provide everything, and I mean everything. That's why in the story, when the 2 servants doubled the talents entrusted to them, the master said, "I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord." So it's not about how big or how little God provides for us. It's our mindset and our hearts that we should be checking. Remember the first part of the video where we talk about that you should have the right mindset first before managing your finances correctly? This may be the right mindset over here. Whatever God provides, I will be thankful, and I will use it efficiently and properly so I could glorify Him in anything that I do. So this is it. If there are things that you want me to make an episode about, do comment them down below and I make sure to line them up. So till our next brewing episode, Lao out.